Hello and welcome to Relaxed Male, podcast that helps men change their relationship with themselves. I am your host, Bryan, and I am a men's life and mindset coach who is here to help you understand that you don't have to suffer at your own expense. You can live your dream, and I encourage you to set, then pursue your goals. So join me as I change the mindset and attitudes of men so that they can be the leaders of their families and their destinies. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. All right, so today I'm again over. I'm stuck in a truck. The holidays are kicking my old keister all over the place. I am not had a time yet to actually sit down and record the podcast and get everything else that I normally done. And so I'm running into issues. So hopefully this year will finally pass through and we'll get over to some more steady waters. But anyhow, so guys, wanted to this week what we're going to be talking about is I've actually got what my intentions are and what I'm wanting to do, and the importance of why we need to have integrity, because I've got a confession to make. But before we get into that, real quick, just some of the pre-show stuff that I normally do. First off, the show, as you know, is a free show. I don't charge you anything. I don't require you to go to Patreon to download and become a patron to the show. I don't require you to be able to be a part of locals or anything like that to be able to get and download the show. The show comes to you. I send it to you automatically every day on Thursday. And there, as you know, nothing in life is free. So I do ask a favor of you because I am putting this out without any cost to you. That favor is actually, if you find any value from any of the shows you've listened to or any of the shows you listen to in the future, share that show out, share the podcast out, and share that episode, whatever it is that gets you to just laugh, cry, think, groan, or just feel entertained. If I accomplish any of those items, then please share it out to your Facebook feed, to your Twitter feed, share it out to if you're on Parler, share it to Parler, any place that you're at. Just share the show out so we can start get other guys' attention to come over to the show and start listening and start growing the show itself. By doing that, it's just doing me a big favor. It helps me out, gets the show out just to a few more people, and it's just kind of a good way of paying it forward for the work that I've done on the show. So now every week I do a question of the week, and the question of the week is. If you have a question, you can always send it over to me over at Bryan@relaxedmale.com. If you don't, if I don't receive anything, then what I normally do is I'll go over to Quora and pull up a question. And that's actually what I ended up doing this week. And the Relaxed Male, the question of the week is brought to us by, and this is the closest to any type of commercial I do, and that is my personal men's group that I have put together. It is called the Brotherhood of Men. It was originally the Conclave of Men, and I figured conclave sounds a little too secretive, and it's not a secretive item at all. It's just we're a group of men who meet either Tuesdays or Thursdays, and I've got 2 times on Tuesday and 2 times on Thursdays. We get together, we sit around, we talk, we discuss what the problems are, what obstacles are we all facing, and all the men get together and we help lift each other up. We get past those obstacles, get past those problems, get past the issues that we are facing as life goes on. If you're having problems with your son sneaking out, well, somebody's probably had that issue before and can give you a good idea or a good tactic on how to be able to do that. We help encourage each other to become the best men possible so we can influence our sons to follow us and to listen to what we have to say, and so we can instill the knowledge on them. But if they want to learn stuff the hard way, we are okay with that. We support each other as our son makes that rough travel going from a child to a young man, because that's not an easy trip. It's not an easy thing to do, and we all need to have the support for it. And that's what the Brotherhood of Men do. We are brotherhood. We help each other out. We help each other become the best man that we possibly can for our wives, our friends, our family, our sons, our daughters, our community as a whole. And we help each other to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So that's what that is. Now, with the question of the week, what is that? Well, the question of the week this week is, I don't have it drawn up right in front of me, but it basically asks, Are your kids, how was it phrased? I can't remember how it's phrased. Anyhow, I forget exactly how it's phrased, but it's to the essential, the main word is just right there on the tip of my tongue. This is what happens when you don't have a laptop in front of you. I've got too many people parked around me with their trucks running in, so I don't have a quiet enough space, so I'm underneath a bunch of blankets sweating balls off here, and so I don't have my laptop on, but anyhow, what they were basically asking have you earned the respect of your kids? And for this person, it was a real easy question, really straightforward, didn't have a whole lot of details stuffed in there. So the answer was actually very easy, very straightforward. And the answer was yes. It took them a while to appreciate. Do your kids appreciate you? And I was like, yeah, they do. It took them a while. They had to actually go out and face plan on their own to realize that, yeah, Dad actually did know a thing or two. Mom actually did know a thing or two. And that's what I kind of wanted to say during the question of the week is, it's so aggravating, so frustrating for kids or for adults to tell your kid, try to protect them, to try to keep them from doing the hard things. I mean, that's what we're always saying. I just don't want you to have to go through the hard stuff. Well, you know what? We went through the hard stuff, and our parents went through the very same hard stuff. So there's a lot of hard stuff that kids just have to actually face plant on. They have to run face first into why honesty matters. They have to run face first into why certain friends are not good friends. And they have to actually come to emotionally understand that the friend who always just shows up and wants you to go out and get drunk probably isn't the best friend, because he's not going to be there when you need help. You find yourself, he's not a 3 a.m. type of person. You wouldn't want that type of guy as your 3 a.m. buddy. Yeah, he may show up and he may always have beer on hand, but when you get your neck on the line, he's going to be nowhere to be found. And so these are a lot of lessons that kids just have to learn naturally. And it's so frustrating for us adults. I understand. And it's one of those things where you just like, dude, just, stop doing that. Come over here. And they still want to go out, reach out and touch that hot pan. And they don't understand what hot is until they grab a hold of that hot pan and go, oh, that's hot. That hurts, They have to learn it, because without it, they have no experience as to what's going on. So do my kids appreciate me? Yes, they do. Do they appreciate all the details and all the everything that I have done for them? I think they are starting to understand of what I did and why I was gone all the that particular question is not actually been asked, but I have heard my son actually express gratitude for the lessons that he has learned and that I have taught him, and what he's done. My daughter has expressed much of the same type of gratitude, and she's actually starting to come to me for questions about her life. So it takes them a while. That from age 11 to 12 up to about 20 is parents are stupid. 20 to age 21 to 26, they start kind of getting it figured out. And about age 26, it's like, oh, yeah, let's really hit mom and dad up, because they probably have more idea what it is, what's going on, than I do. So my son's just about there, and he's heard the proverbial pop, and so he's several years ago he successfully dislodged his head from his rectum, and is doing pretty good. So, but anyhow, so now on to the main topic, and this one is going to start out being a little bit of a tough thing for me to do, because, guys, I'm going to fess some stuff up to you. I'm not happy about it. It's stuff that I've actually been hiding from not just you, but everybody else around. I've actually had an element of shame in a couple of these things. But the big problem there, I have been so far out of integrity this year. Not just kind of out of integrity. It's just been, integrity is nowhere. It's been like I dropped it in the dirt. I dropped it in a hole and it got covered up. When it come to integrity, anything that I said, I was not doing. Anything that we should recommend, was not doing. I got, you get yourself all stuck on creative stuff. What have I always recommended? Well, get up, go out and walk. Well, guess what I didn't do? I sat there and tried to power my way through a lot of stuff, and it didn't work. And in all reality, one of the biggest downfalls or biggest face plants I did this year is 8 years ago, I kicked the habit of smoking. And I had it all taken care of, never didn't have a residual craving until the beginning of this year. And I was like, sure, yeah, let's have a cigarette. It's not going to bother me. Well, a cigarette turned into 2 cigarettes, turned into 4 cigarettes, turned into a pack and a half a day. As of December 8th, 11:15 was my last cigarette. I have again gone smoke free. Well, no, correction. The other day I was out of lozenges, and I ended up having 1 cigarette for the whole day. So we're on the path. We're getting to the getting there, but I don't know why I let myself go down that particular road again, but there is a good thing that I was able to learn from that mistake, though, and that is habits or bad habits or addictions, whatever you want to call them, can easily be picked back up. You may have buried the hatchet, but you will never forget where that hatchet is buried. And that is a big lesson to know. So if you're dealing with anything and you want to make sure you're tired of being pestered by whatever that addiction is, you know what items actually will cause you to actually think of that bad habit. Like for me, driving is a when I am smoking, it is a big thing. Now I've got a bad habit. I am a boredom smoker. So if I was bored, I was smoking. If I had anything else going on, my cigarette consumptions dropped from being a pack and a half a day to maybe 10 a day. Still too many, but still, it dropped way back. I would actually ditch a whole pack in that. But now I am really going to have to make sure that I fight to make sure that I don't turn that bored smoking into bored eating, because I'm also a boredom eater. If I don't have something going on in my hands or going into my mouth, it's really causes a problem. So I've got celery. I've got it chopped up, ready to go, taken care of. That's my snack stuff. And yeah, I've got 3 bags of it, and I've eaten 2 bags of it already. I ate a bag on Monday or Sunday night, and then ate another bag on Monday night. And the 3rd bag, I've kind of actually sort of forgot about it, and couldn't reach it while I was driving. So, because I can reach back and I can grab stuff out of the refrigerator if it's close enough. If it's stuffed in the back, yeah, it's out of reach, and I'm not going to stop to just grab to reach back there, just to have to try to work myself back up to speed. It's just too much of a pain in the butt. So I have also failed in all 4 pillars of the relaxed male. And that's the biggest thing, because if I'm going to show you how the relaxed male's pillars are supposed to help you and to make you a better man, and so that you can become a better influence for your family, your sons, and your community, how am I going to do that if I'm not doing it? And every time I was like, all right, well, we need to start doing this, I was coming up with excuses. It's like, oh, well, let's not do this. Getting up and going out and doing a walk. It's like, yeah, but I've only got Saturday to get this taken care of. And in all reality, no, I don't have only Saturday to get this taken care of. I could actually be working on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way up to Saturday. And a lot of times I don't. I find myself sitting there flipping through YouTube videos, looking at walk culture, or go on Facebook, looking at game ranks videos. You know, there's a bunch of videos, and from time to time I've thrown TikTok off. That's just an amazing, just time suck that there is. There's more times than not that I have gotten. My daughter would send me a TikTok video. It's like, oh, okay. Click, 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 click. Shoot, it's 2.5 hours later. The Chinese are very good at making sure that they show the stuff that entertains you and fascinates you and keeps you plugged into that. It is downright scary as to how well they do that. So I kicked TikTok off the phone. It is not allowed on there. If I want to watch it, it's going to show up on the desktop, and that's the extent of it. I don't log in. If I decide somewhere down the road I want to start making videos on TikTok, okay, we'll work on that when that bridge comes to when we come to that bridge. But right now, I don't need it on there. I would like to go ahead and kick Facebook off, but you know, I've got the Relaxed Male Facebook page, so I've got that. I've also got, that's my means of communicating with high school friends and stuff. So I hold on to Facebook. Then Twitter is just mainly promotions for Relaxed Male. I don't do a whole lot of relationship building. I need to do more with Instagram, but I haven't gotten around to Instagram, really getting into Instagram. I throw some stuff up from time to time, but I usually do try to get 1 or 2 items up a week, but that's the extent. But yeah, there's a lot of time waste when it comes to like getting stuff written. I've got to start making some changes, and we're going to be talking about what those changes are. But when it comes to the man's body, from the pillar, how have I failed working on my body? First off, I haven't exercised. I started out the year I was going to walk 15 minutes, at the minimum 15 minutes, and I did for like the first week and a half, 2 weeks. And then one night, I ran out of time, and I had to park on the side of an exit ramp in, I think it was over in Texas, but or it could have been Louisiana. No, it was Texas, because it was outside of. I was heading towards. What's the name of that town? Carthage. And where I ended up stopping at was just enough shoulder for the truck, and there might have been 2 inches of just wide enough where I was on the outside of the yellow line, so I was just barely there. And so I didn't walk then. And for whatever reason after that, it was like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't matter. And I never took a step except until did an intentional walk until when I went to down in Texas, and I walked 3 miles, and you could tell I hadn't walked in a while, because that 3 miles was a little on the rough side. Granted, it was also 97, 98 degrees by 10 o'clock that afternoon, so it was freaking hot. But still, I needed to walk. I need to start walking more. And so that's one of the things. I'm going to start making sure I get push-ups. I want to make sure that I nail out at least 10 push-ups, 10 set-ups, and walk 15 minutes a day. I know it sounds like, well, that's it. That's all you're going to do? That's all I need to do. With those qualifications there, I can call myself active. I want to start making sure that I love myself for who I am. I want to make myself be the best man I can, so that I can actually go out there and I can draw the eye, in a way. I want to be able to draw the eye of every woman that comes around me and go, wow, there's a hottie, so that my wife knows that she does have someone who is a catch. I want my wife to understand that I chose her. I want to be somebody that she is proud of. Now, if I was to ask her right now, is she proud of me? I know she would say, yes, I'm proud of you. But I want to make sure that she really knows how proud I want her to be of me, and that I'm willing to get myself into shape and look good, dress right, get my hair combed like it's supposed to, get a regular haircut instead of waiting for every 3 months, once a week, send her some flowers, do all the stuff that we think, us guys think women like, whether they act like they like it or not, to do that, to do what needs to be done so that we can show our wives that we love them. And I have not done that. And point number one being that I have not respected my body. I have abused it. I've just not taken care of it. I haven't walked. Like I said, I hadn't walked intentionally. The only time I'd walk is like from around in the house to the car, and from the car into Walmart, around Walmart, back to the car, back to the house, and it was just those little jaunts right there. Now, granted, I could still bring in about 1,500 steps, 2,000 steps a day, which is way under the 10,000 steps. And I'll get up to the 10,000 steps if I want to look at getting healthy as a means of stepping. But that's not what I'm going to put my focus on. I want to start getting healthy. I want to start getting myself back into shape. I want to start getting rid of the gut, which means that I'm going to need to start cutting back on my food consumption, which means that food is for energy replenishment. It's not for sensory deprivation. It's not to block out thoughts or anything like that. It's just meant to bring in sustenance, so my body has energy to burn, so I can continue to do the walks and things like that. I've got 3 years left. Actually, not even 3. I've got like 2.5 years left to be able to get everything going so that I can do the Camino walk. And I'm not going to be able to do it if I am just, sitting around playing patty cake with my feet all day. So when it comes to my body, I have to get it back into shape. I have to build that foundation back up. I have to build integrity within myself that my body is going to be in good shape. My mind, now I've been reading, but it's not a physical book. I've got a couple physical books that I've read. I get a couple chapters in, and then it just kind of flutters off. I've cleaned through a crap ton of books this year, but they've all been audiobooks. So I have to start, I'm going to start making sure that I read at least 10 pages a day of a physical nonfiction book. Start feeding my mind. Start learning from other people. I'm going to start getting that coaching that I said I was going to get this year, but I did once later in the year. I got a little coaching taken care of by a good a great coach named Chris Pavone. Talked to him and got some stuff kind of straightened out, but I've got some more coaching that I need to get. I need to get more intense coaching. I actually need to start getting into a lot of other aspects of coaching. And to do that, I've got to start feeding my mind and start feeding my mind with physical words and stressing myself in ways like getting out there amongst people and doing what makes me uncomfortable. That's the only thing that's going to really make my mind that much stronger and have the mental fortitude to be able to carry this endeavor of the relaxed male to its pinnacle, which is a huge thing. So for the soul, a lot of it it's going to stay pretty much the same. But my soul is this business, is Relaxed Male. This is all the pieces of content that I create feeds my soul. I'm creating a business. This is what I want to create. This is what I am meant to do. I've questioned whether or not this is whether I really was cut out for coaching. And I find myself going to people and coaching them. But I've also learned that I can't just coach anybody and everybody. They have to want to be coached. And that's the trick that I've got to start figuring out. How do I focus in on the people who really want it? How do I find the people who want to be coached instead of just walking up to people and start coaching on them and then, see them go, well, that's not going to work. Well, yeah, it's not going to work because your mind is set in a way that it's not going to work. You're not going to allow anything to happen because you want to be stuck in that pool of misery. And honestly, they don't like it when you tell them that they're going to stay in that pool of misery because that's what they've chosen to do. And so I have to have learned. I offer it. If it doesn't show that they are reciprocating that information, they're not processing it, then okay, fine. I'm done with it. I have to not cut the relationship tie, but just cut the coaching session off and just let them set and stew in their own juices. Now, what other types of nuances I need to do in that, I don't know, and that's probably something that I will get out of a coaching certification or not certification, but a coaching class of some sort. I could probably find the answer someplace. So I need to work on my soul. But what I want to do is still continue to do a blog post, a video of the week, the podcast, and I also want to get into video again. Start making those videos once more. I used to like throwing those up on there. And get those out, because right now the YouTube page is nothing more than just a podcast repository. It's just catching all the podcasts that I've done, just as another channel for people to listen to the podcast, and it's not doing them any good. It would help out better if they were able to see my ugly mug and go yammering away as I normally do. Hopefully not for the 30 minutes that I like to talk, but, try to see if I can hammer it down and really get really laser focused and whittle it down to like maybe a 15-minute area. Now, the last one, I've got the body, got the mind, got the soul. Last one is the community, and this one here is going to be the tough one. Pardon me. When it comes to the community, my community is right now just my wife, my kids, and a couple of close friends. I have one 3 o'clock friend who I know if I need to call to him, he'll be there. He'll help out. But I need to expand that list, because right now that list is one person, that is Robbie. And I need to expand that, because Robbie is a great guy, but he's not Superman. And so I need to have other 3 o'clock people in my list. And so how do I do that? Well, that's the rub, isn't it? I've got to get out. I've got to start meeting people and stop worrying about how much time am I consuming in my little day and a half to 2 days that I have free. I have got a scarcity mindset when it comes to my time. And I have to take that scarcity mindset, throw it out, because people who have seen time and time again that if you go out and you do a 15 to 30 minute walk, when you first get up and you sit down, you are extra creative because you've got your blood flowing. I know all this. I've talked about this multiple times on the blog and on the podcast, that the more you walk, the more you work out, and the more you're healthier you are, the easier it is for you to create. The more easier it is for you to sit down and be focused to get the stuff done. Yeah, you're eating up 30 minutes, maybe eating up maybe an hour if you take a long walk. You don't have to eat up half your day to go walk. Besides, even if I did walk for half a day, I still, by the time I really get into the jam of writing, half a Saturday's gone anyhow, if I want to be truly honest with myself. So I'm spending half the Saturday doing nothing, basically just picking my nose. And then I finally get around to writing in the afternoon. And I get everything finished around 7 o'clock at night. And then on Sunday, what I normally do is I jump up and I write out the show notes. I do the podcast, and then off I go. So yeah, I would end up having to make sure that I get all 3 pieces of content taken care of. And also somewhere in there, figure out how to stuff in a video. But there is time. I know there's time, because if I could sit down and work on the blog through the week, I could have 3/4 of it written by the time Saturday come along, so I could do my walk and then sit down and go, okay, there we go, and wrap it up, all up, throw the pictures up there, do the cover art and the featured image, and do whatever else I need to do, put in the SEO information, schedule it, jump over the video of the week, find a video of the week, spend 20 minutes looking at the video, saying, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I agree with something like that, or no, I don't agree with something like that. Let's try something different. And so find the video, put this video up, write a blurb about the video, put the featured image, schedule it. The video is a very short thing. It's easy to post up. That was why it was meant to do, is just be something easy that I could always post up every single time. And there's been a couple times where I was a couple years ago where I got a video of the week up, but I didn't get the main blog post up. But I've been able to get blog posts, 2 to 3 blog posts. Sometimes I skip the video of the week these days, and I'll just get the blog post and the podcast up and out. And I can do that. But for the community, I have to understand that, I have got a scarcity mindset of time right now. I've got a scarcity mindset of money. But right now, the big thing that I'm looking at is I'm always looking at I don't have enough time. And I do have enough time. I've got the same amount of time that everybody else does. And they seem to get, 37 things done while I'm doing my 4. I can do this. I know I can do this. and I'm going to start doing this. And so how am I going to get that done, though? I have an idea, but I'm not 100%. But the other thing that I really need to do is to build my community. And that's why under a man's community, you've got to start building a network of friends. You need to have that network. You need to have people that you know and people who know you. And so you can walk downtown and have people go, hey, that's old Goodwin. Yeah. Have them be able to invite me to a darn Christmas party. You know how long it's been since I've been invited to a Christmas party? It's been several years. Why? Because I was just content with sitting at my house, and that's the problem. I need to stop being content with being by myself. I have to start getting out there and seeing people and talking to people. And one of the ways I think I can do that is by joining a church. It's not that I'm against church. I know that there are benefits to going to church, and I think I will have a lot of benefits going to church, because one, I can start to talk to people and find out what men who have teenage sons, what they're actually facing. What's their big struggles? Is it the same things I struggled with, or was my son just an anomaly and just, was he a rare thing to come across? Are most other boys actually just, they stay at home and do nothing and they listen to their parents? Something tells me that's not right, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think most boys like to go out. They like to do a little bit of hell raising. They like to hang out with their friends. Now, some are these days hang out with their friends on video games. While my son was a very much outdoor person, he has to be outdoors. He has to physically see his friends. But there's all sorts of things that could be that are different from what I experienced as a dad. So I may not be the reason why no one's joining up for the Brotherhood of Men is because I'm not speaking their language, and so it'll help me to understand and to start speaking their language. And I can also understand. I might even be able to start practicing a thought that I have for a men's class, where I actually help become like the Epic Fathers Brigade or something, just something, I don't know. That's just something that just bounced off my head right then. I think that was probably not the best, but come up with some type of, but anyhow, I've had an idea for a course, but I don't know how well that course would work. And so who knows, maybe if I join up with a church, I could walk through that and do kind of the same thing like what Dan Miller did, on how he got 48 Days book written, where it started out as just a loose leaf binder that had everything in there all packed together, and they went through it as a church meeting. And from there it became a bound book that had some tapes in it. From there it became the book, and the book is now in its 20th year of circulation. So I don't know. Maybe that's the path I need to take. I don't know. I won't know until I try it. So I know I've been out of church. I know I don't know hardly anybody in any of the towns that in my area. I know 1-2 people in each town, and that's not enough. I need to get around to where people see me, they know who I am, and they know that I can be trusted. From there, I know I can start to expand and build the confidence that I need to be able to even span out even further. So how am I going to do this? Well, guys, I've realized each time this year, about each time this year, if I can say all the words correctly, I start talking about goals. Now, I still believe that goals are highly important if you are wanting to get anywhere in life. Goals are the mile markers for your progression to success. You have to know, hey, I finally made it to this goal, so I can get to the next goal, so I can get to the next goal. Now, the problem that I've had, and what I think a lot of people have problems with on this, is they follow the SMART rule. I am going to have, by December 31st, 2021, I am going to have 100 visitors a day to my website. And they think about it, and so they kind of work at it. But the problem that we have is that we're focusing it, we kind of bump up against failure. Because if you didn't, so if I set that goal the second day there, so did I get 100 people a day? No. Oh, well, that's a failure. All right, let's try it again. Oh, no, that's a failure. Fourth day. Nope, still don't got it. It's a failure. Fifth day. Oh, no, that's okay. So we're hitting our mental failure button every single day until we actually get it. Now, can it work? It does. It works because you now know where you want to go. The key element, or at least what I believe to be the key element, is I don't have a how to get from place A to place B. And I kind of touched upon it with my journal book that I completely just didn't do squat with after March. I used it all the way up to March, and then after that it went nothing. What I failed to do on that is I don't have a system. And so I need to start systemizing. How am I going to get down to 200 pounds? I am going to get down to 200 pounds by eating only one helping, and I am going to walk, say, 15 minutes a day. I'm going to do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 something else. Get a set of reps going, and just do bodybuilding, body resistance exercises. Don't have to worry about going to the gym. Don't have to worry about going, standing in front of a whole bunch of people. I just need to make sure that I can do it while I'm inside of a truck. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this while I'm inside of a truck. Because if I can do it in here, I have no excuse as to why I can't do it out at the house. I have no excuse why I can't do it in the backyard. I have no excuse why I can't do it in the middle of a hiking trail. I wake up in the morning after going camping. I can wake up and I can crank out, 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, and 25 crunches, or, something like that. Maybe 25 jumping jacks or squat thrusts, or, anything, lumberjacks, just inchworms, anything. There's cherry pickers. There's a whole bunch of, different aerobic exercises that you could do 25 of them, call it good, and get it nailed out no matter where you're at. And one of the problems that I have, and I've noticed with truck drivers, is where are you supposed to exercise at? Well, you may have, if you've got a day cab, you're really kind of in a tight spot. You might, but if you're in a sleeper, you've got a bed. It's kind of a really thick mat that you can be doing your sit-ups on. You might even do some. Now it might be a little tough to do squat thrusts on, just because you're going to wear your springs out, and you don't want that. But there's ways that you can find something to do. I know you don't want to do it on the side on the asphalt beside you, because God only knows what type of horrendous abominations are on that. But I know that there's ways of being able to do this. And so for my body, I am starting to, I'm quitting smoking. I've quit smoking. I'm going to be smoke free. I'm never going to touch the goddamn things ever again. I am also going to be getting myself in shape. I am going to get down to 200 pounds. And how am I going to do that? By exercising, moving more, eating less, and making sure that I don't just sit around with my thumb up my butt. Now, for the man's mind, I already told you kind of what the mind is. I'm going to be reading. So what does that mean? It means that I am going to set up a system where before I go to bed, I'm going to have a book that's sitting beside me, and I can't put it down until I get those 10 pages read. I'm going to make sure that I am a reader like I am a blogger. I've told myself I have to write on Saturday. So I have to read 10 pages before I can go to bed. If I pass out before I get all 10 pages read, that's when I wake up, I'll need to finish them. If when it comes to community, I may have to be where I say hi and introduce myself to 5 people a day. I don't know how well that'll work, but that's I'm still working on these systems. So, but we got to come up with a system to actually have a win. So instead of hitting the failure, well, did you get your blog post written for the week? I did. Well, there you go. You got to win. Did you walk 15 minutes today? By God, I walked 30. All right, there you go. You not only beat your goal, you completed your goal, you beat it by an extra 15 minutes. So you can actually get a rolling succession of positive yays. Hey, I'm winning. Hey, I'm winning. Hey, I'm winning. I read 10 pages. I read 10 pages again. Holy smokes, I'm out of books. What do I need to do now? I need to go buy another book so I can keep reading. Make those little goals and don't overdo it. That's one thing I noticed I did for the past 2 to 3 years is when it come to goals, I would have like 15 goals that I'm going to complete this year. And how many I'd get? Maybe 1. I'd get real close to a couple of them, and the rest of them, no, I wouldn't. They'd just fall off. Last year was horrible on that. I remember, I think I got, the only thing I've done so far is I've kept consistent with I'm going to have 100 people a day on the blog, and I am not there yet, but I put an image of how the click-throughs and the searches are going through Google Search Console, and I am increasing. Now that's just when I appear in search. That's not how many times I appear, how many people are visiting my site a day, because right now I am veering between about 30 and 40 people a day, which is a heck of a lot better than 10 or 15 that I had at the beginning of last year. And that's a heck of a lot better than the 1 or 2 that I had the year before that. I'd get 1 or 2 people a day, and it stayed kind of like that until about the end of the year, and all of a sudden I was I'm hanging around 10, 15 people a day. And now I'm up around 30 to 40. So at the going rate, I'm kind of doubling every year. So next year, I think 2021 might be the year. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. So we're going to find that out. So, but anyhow, all right, guys, I have been talking for a whole whopping 47 minutes and some change. So, guys, get ready. Start making your plans. Choose something for your mind. Choose something for your body. Choose something for your soul. And choose something for your community. Make 4 goals. Make the plans on how are you going to fit those goals. And I promise you this, I am not going to fall out of integrity again. I am going to start sharing an integrity watch with you as to where I'm at on this, that, these, and those. All those four pillars. We're going to build those 4 pillars up together. All right. Keep an eye out on Instagram. I think that's might be where I start sharing the 4 pillars. I may start up a hashtag of men's pillars 1, men's pillars 2. Anytime I do something that activates that pillar, I'm going to start sharing it and if it may be a whole bunch of my ugly mug being in there, but if not, awesome. I have found ways of being able to be more photogenically productive for you. But I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I think I'll use the Instagram Relaxed Male Instagram page as a means of accountability. You can look in there and say, hey, he did something for his mind, his body, his soul, and community every day. And so who knows, maybe we'll start seeing 4 posts a day about the pillars. I'll really kind of sit down, process that, see how I can do a process, get a system set up for that, so that I can actually make sure that I tune to that. So anyhow, we will talk about this more next week as I actually go into details on how to set up your systems and why systems are so good. So anyhow, guys, that's what we're going to talk about next week. So till then, y'all have a great week. Have a Merry Christmas. And guys, I love y'all dearly, and I am sorry again that I screwed up and I let y'all down. Please forgive me. I'm getting better every day, and I want to be there to help you too. So guys, until next week, bye.